Possible that we see this quick spin up of a tornado and then we'll see it die back. But within that line over the next few hours, looking at some of the information that we have, we could be looking at more warnings down the line as this line is expected to strengthen. Here you go. There's the warning, the polygon box. If you live in Bismarck, if you live in Caney, Arkansas, up to Social Hill, Rockport, into Butterfield, along the I-30 corridor area, that's where we're going to find the greatest threat of seeing this, if in fact we actually have one that touches the ground. Enough rotation within this line to prompt the tornado warning from the National Weather Service. Tornado was possible over the Gray Lake State Park, 9 miles north of Arkadelphia, and it's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. And there's also severe thunderstorm warnings in effect just to the west. Garland County here, you've got Hot Spring. This is moving out of Clark County. And again, the wind's spinning around just a little bit. Let's see if we can find where we might have that rotation. We'll take a look at one of our wind modes, our velocity mode, and that will help give us a better idea as where that twist is located, or that spin is located. And looks like it's right around in here near Bismarck, Arkansas. Here's DeRoche, Caney, along Highway 7 and 84. This is more than likely where we're finding the potential for a tornado within that line as it moves to the northeast. Again, tonight we've been waiting for something to kind of come together. It looks like it's finally becoming coming together. As this line moves to the east, we will have to be concerned with these embedded tornadoes that may not last long, but certainly could drop down and do a little damage. There's the spin. It's just to the north of DeGray Lake State Park and the resort there. And folks in line for this are going to take it through Hot Spring, a little portion of Garland County. And if it holds together, this spin will move closer to the northern part of Hot Spring County into Saline County. Now tonight, meteorologist Nathan Scott is also watching things with us. We're going to be with you all night long, Nathan. Again, let's talk about some of those communities that will be affected.
Well, Tom, we've been watching this warm front slowly creep its way to the north, and it has made its way through Little Rock because our temperature is now 64 degrees.
Saw that.
And the dew point is 61. So even here in the metro, we have to watch these cells very closely. But here is the latest one. It is one of those embedded tornadoes, so you're not going to be able to see it even if it was happening during the daytime. It's going to be rain wrapped. You're going to see some very heavy rainfall, and then if there is something happening at this time, that's when the tornado will also be embedded within the heavy rain. Here's the track of where the rotation most likely will be headed towards. So you got Butterfield, Rockport, Magnet Cove, and then up towards Haskell and Traskwood. Even though you're not in the tornado warning at this time, if this does hold together, it will make its way into Saline County. So heads up, it's Doppler radar indicated, but there's certainly a little bit of rotation showing up there very close to Bismarck and DeRoche. This is going to continue to lift its way off to the northeast. It's going about 40 miles per hour. So here are some towns in the path. We have Malvern, very close to that rotation, around 3 minutes after midnight. Gifford around 8 minutes after midnight. Nance around 12:13, and if it holds together, around Traskwood at 12:16. Taking a look at what's happening with the rest of the area, we do have some improvements. Once this line moves through, you're done with the threat of severe weather. So you're done in Montgomery County, you're done in Scott County, Pike County, and off to the west. Also, Polk County is done with the threat of severe weather. But we do have this line of nasty storms extending from Garland County, Hot Spring County, Clark County, and down through Nevada County. And there's that severe thunderstorm warning. So anywhere along this line, there could be a quick spin up tornado that may come with little to no warning. Right. So if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning that does have a tornado possible, you want to take this seriously and watch this line make its way off to the east. Saline County, Pulaski County, Grant County, Jefferson County, everybody to the east of this line is under that tornado watch. Tom, they're going to be extending that tornado watch shortly.
Yeah, they are, and it looks as if they're going to include more of northern Arkansas within that watch as well. So, central Arkansas and a good part of southern Arkansas, tornado watch till midnight. I think we're probably going to see it extended a bit for central Arkansas too. Here it is, 11:44, 15 minutes away. Our biggest concern right now is that line of thunderstorms. We talked about it tonight. Nathan talked about it. I've talked about it with this line moving through. Sometimes you get those embedded tornadoes that develop in the line, and we do have our first warning tonight that's just now moving out of Clark County into Hot Spring County, and the center of circulation is somewhere between Bismarck and DeRoche, Arkansas. And you can see it's a very strong thunderstorm by the lightning, lots of lightning with this particular cell. And there's the spin. If there's anything that's dropping out of the sky, it's in this general area near Highway 128 and Highway 84. We have a shot there from Malvern, a live shot from Malvern showing you the lightning along the interstate there. Again, no confirmed reports of a tornado, but go ahead and take your precautions. Your sirens may be going off there in Hot Spring County or Malvern. You got time to go ahead and make it to your safe place. That's why we said earlier that, hey, get your stuff together. Get your plan in place, because we could have some overnight tornado warnings. Again, no confirmation. And there's the area. Ooh, nice little shot there. DeRoche, Arkansas, Highway 84 and 128. There's also severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Dallas, Clark, Garland, Hot Spring, Ouachita, and Saline County. So that line is getting closer to central Arkansas. And just a few moments ago, Nathan came through and we were talking about what's going to happen tonight. Looks like we're going to have a bit of an uptick, and that's why Storms Prediction Center is extending the watch, tornado watch, and adding a few more counties as that warm front lifts to the north. Again, Nathan, this has got to be the general area, but I guess if we take it to Storm Track 11, maybe the NROT would have a little different perspective. And yeah, there's some spin there.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of rotation. It's not a tight couplet, Tom, so I don't think anything is on the ground at this time, but it's just getting a little more serious because we are seeing that rotation continue to remain in place. And also it has increased over the past few scans when it was leaving Pike County and getting into Hot Spring County. And this is continuing to make its way off to the northeast, headed towards Rockport, headed towards Butterfield. So those areas are under the tornado warning. Tornado sirens are going off. And you just have to be very careful with this type of situation, because within this line of storms, you get a quick tornado. It might only last for 5 minutes. It might last for 10 minutes, but it can do damage.
Yeah,
and
better. Yeah.
At night, you know, you hate this type of situation, but we were expecting this, Tom, because we knew there was a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere, and this wind energy is continuing to increase across South Central Arkansas and East Arkansas, and even here in the metro. Just because that warm front has now made its way into Pulaski County, we also have to watch for Saline County and Pulaski County. That's why they extended that tornado watch to include those counties, because of the warm front. It's the warm front and down to the south, that's where the highest risk of storms that could produce tornadoes continues to be located. Off to the north, it's really a flash flooding threat. We'll get more into that a little bit later.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things we've been watching tonight. Some counties calling in with a lot of high water, but it's this line now edging into central Arkansas. It looks like it's beginning to strengthen a little and could produce a tornado. And there's the area that we're talking about, and we'll back it up. Yeah, certainly some rotation there. How long does it last? Does it spin out? And we see it cycle up once again as that line moves on through. So Clark County, you're in the clear. This is now in Hot Spring County. Bismarck, it's to your east, northeast, but we've got some smaller communities here. Social Hill up the road, I-30 area. Here's another shot from Malvern as we keep a close eye on this and make sure that folks are safe at home. Got your safe place ready. Get the kids. Make sure you've got your shoes and your something put over your head. Head to the closet or your interior room, even your storm shelter if you've got one of those, and let's ride this out. As this line moves to the east and the cell within it moves to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, Lake Catherine State Park. As we look upstream, you've got Rockport and Malvern. It's a good ways away from you, Malvern, but still upstream you've got Saline County, Benton, Bryant. Maybe you're up late tonight. You know, a lot of folks get antsy about weather late at night like this. Go ahead and get your safe place ready just in case this holds together. That tornado warning remains in effect now until 12 o'clock. We're about 11 minutes away now from that warning expiring or being extended a little farther down the road. And Nathan, it looks as if Storm Prediction Center has now issued that tornado watch. So we'll give the counties of who's going to be included with that, the central Arkansas area. There's the polygon of the warning we have. Severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect. Way out ahead of that line, some strong winds of about 70 plus miles per hour. It looks like that field of wind is now moving over Hot Springs, Lake Hamilton. It's passed through the Lake Ouachita area, extends down to near Caddo Valley and Arkadelphia. Within that line, we'll see wind gusts of 70 possibly miles per hour, or even more likely 60 plus mile per hour winds. And I don't think we're going to see much in the way of any hail with this. From now forward, it's going to be the possibility of those tornadoes, embedded tornadoes, and some strong winds. This extends down to Gurdon in that line, which is moving to the east. That individual cell with the tornado warning is moving to the northeast. All right, that's what we have currently going on here with that severe thunderstorm warning. What about the counties, Nathan? Have we had a chance to pull those up yet that are under the watch?
I was going to give it like another minute before, but let me go ahead and check. I also took a look at the debris detector. I'm not seeing anything of concern with that tornado warning that has been issued for Hot Spring County, but nonetheless, there's still a little bit of rotation there, and there could be certainly a brief spin up. But at this time, going back, I did not see any lowering of what's known as the CC or the debris detector to say, okay, if there's something on the ground, it's picking up debris and the radar can catch that. Not seeing that at this time, but you're still under tornado warning into Hot Spring County. That does include the area of Malvern and some other communities such as Social Hill, DeRoche. As we take a look at what's happening with the winds once again, it's certainly not that significant. I mean, it's going to be right around DeRoche, right around Highway 128, Highway 84. So let's take a break with that. We'll come right back to it, but let's see if the newest tornado watch has been included in the graphics just yet, because it's going to include a lot of East Arkansas and probably Northeast Arkansas as well.
Yeah, so hasn't been added here yet, but yeah, Central Arkansas certainly is under that tornado watch until midnight, with an extension to the north that will include Eastern Arkansas. And there it is. Your magic. You had it pop up right there. Jackson County is included in that, White County. So that tells us the warm front's going to lift a little farther to the northeast as this surface low develops out of southwest Arkansas and travels to the northeast. So it's going to pull more warm, moist air in from the Gulf. And with a surface low, it has a certain amount of spin with it. And that's why the National Weather Service seems confident that this watch needs to continue through the nighttime hours tonight. Would imagine a few more counties are going to be added as well. Nathan, let's talk about the flooding threat real quick, because we know that we've got some very heavy rainfall occurring over central and also west central Arkansas.
Yeah, switching back over to radar, Tom, it has just been constant heavy rainfall for Scott County, for Yell County. Now that band of heavy rain is shifting off to the east, so it's involving Perry County and also Faulkner County into White County. I'm going to go ahead and put on just the flood alerts just so you can get a real clear view on what's been happening with the rainfall. And I'm going to query some of these estimates, because these estimates have definitely produced some serious flash flooding into Scott County, into Yell County, because we're getting estimates, radar indicated, of 7 to 8 inches. For many spots, there's 6 inches. A large part of Yell County, Perry County seeing 3 to 4 inches, and that heavy rain is spreading its way to the east. So Faulkner County, Conway, those areas that are susceptible to flash flooding issues will certainly have to deal with that out there through the course of the overnight. And it's locations to the north of the warm front that will continue to see heavy rain and flash flooding as the primary concern in that part of the state. Once again, along the warm front and to the south of the warm front, that's where we're concerned about the potential of severe weather, which still includes damaging wind gusts of maybe 65 to 75 miles per hour, those straight line winds, but also we're watching out for embedded tornadoes within that line, and there could still be some cells that try to develop ahead of that line and become supercells. So we still have a long night ahead of us if you are to the east of the line, and that's pretty much right along Interstate 30 and to the east. If you're watching us west of Interstate 30, things have quieted down,
Yeah.
and the severe weather threat is over with.
Looks like that line has moved out of western Hot Spring County. It's now getting closer to the Malvern area. What you're seeing is some very impressive lightning over that's next to me. This is one of our camera shots, RDOT camera shots, looking at Malvern and that thunderstorm, that severe thunderstorm with a possible tornado moving, getting closer to the Rockport and Malvern area. Here's a better perspective of it. Here's Social Hill. If you know where Social Hill is located, Social Hill is just to the southwest of Malvern. And you know what, Nathan? It's very difficult to pick up any rotation with this now. Again, these things happen so quickly and become maybe more of a damaging wind threat, but we still have this tornado warning. At least the National Weather Service is going to keep it, along with the updated tornado watch that includes a good part of eastern Arkansas. Again, if you're waking up with us, maybe you haven't gone to bed yet, you live in Hot Spring County, you live in Saline County, keep an eye on this storm. It's traveling up the interstate, I-30, and it could produce a tornado, could be a brief tornado that's embedded within the line itself. Hard to pick up rotation, might be a little bit here near 128. We talked about DeRoche a few moments ago. Jack Mountain, okay. Okay, little squiggly line here. Thank you very much. Peyton, our producer, joining us this evening, helping us out some of the roadways here. And Taylor Hollow Road, you've got Mountain Valley Church just off to the right-hand side here, Highway 84, Highway 128. This is the area of concern as that area of spin moves over with that line of thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms at that. And you can see the polygon right there. There's Magnet Cove, Butterfield on the outskirts, and a very intense thunderstorm. Lots of lightning with this, Nathan. It looks like it's holding together pretty good.
Tom, I'm looking at Storm Track 11 right now, and it's seeing still a little bit of rotation, but certainly when you go back and you take this back a few scans,
oh yeah,
that's where they issued it, where you see that darker red and brighter red show up right there just to the east of Bismarck, and we've lost that somewhat. We're not seeing a tight couplet. Is there something still there? Is the cloud still rotating? Yes, absolutely. But is the tornado threat as high as what it once was? Right now, it does not look like that's the case. Nonetheless, it's always best to be safe than sorry. So if you're in your safe zone, in your safe spot, Social Hill, Rockport, Butterfield, stay there until we give you the all clear. But I'm going to take a look at some other information here to see if this storm is still maintaining its cloud top, and it certainly is. I'm going to rewind this back, and that is a very tall cloud. It actually has come up somewhat, Tom, from the previous scans, and taking a look at the NROT tool, or the rotation tool, that really pinpoints on where this rotation could be located. I know there's a lot of color on here, but it's really going to be this darker blue area where it says Hot Spring for the name of the county. So it would be just to the west of Social Hill if there is something happening at this time on the ground. If there's a funnel on the ground, this cell definitely has some spin to it. Whether or not it's actually touching the ground, we don't know. We don't have any confirmation. This is still a Doppler radar indicated tornado, but it does include the city of Malvern, and it's going to get, I think, just to the west of Malvern, unless it makes a right turn. Everybody in the tornado warning, follow the rule, respect the polygon, make sure you're taking your tornado precautions at this time. But it's going to be rain wrapped, Tom.
Yeah. And one thing that I noticed when we were in our wind mode, the strong straight line winds, this down here around Midway, Arkansas, there was a little bit of a bowing here. So if we don't have a tornado, we would certainly expect to see some very strong straight line winds with this system as it moves to the east. But we're keeping an eye on that general area Nathan was talking about. If you live upstream here, Magnet Cove, Butterfield, Arkansas, and you're picking us up, here's Malvern and Rockport. This storm is going to be nearing your location here in just a few minutes. It's 11:58. We haven't seen if they're going to extend it yet. That tornado warning remains in effect until midnight, and it's embedded in that line of storms that we've been expecting tonight. We had a couple of supercells earlier that didn't quite get to the tornadic strength, but we've had them with some pretty strong wind gusts. That line continues to move to the east. More showers and storms out ahead of it developing. We'll keep an eye on some of these cells. They could become supercells, but in the meantime, it's this line right here moving through central and west central Arkansas. Saline County, Benton, if this tornado warned area were to be extended, it may include you in Saline County, Benton, Haskell, Bryant area, Harmony Grove. But so far, we have not heard of a confirmation. In fact, they have expired the tornado warning for Garland and Hot Spring County. Certainly some good news, but at any point in time, another one could happen, right, Nathan?
Yeah, these things can spin up very quickly with little to no warning. So, like I said, you've got that severe thunderstorm warning. There could be a very quick spin up, 5 minutes, it lasts, and then it's gone, and then another 5 minutes later down the road. So don't let your guard down, Saline County and the folks to the east. Until this line moves through, we will still have that threat of the potential of a quick spin up tornado happening over the next few hours. There's a line. It's extending from Saline County, just to the west of Benton, all the way down through Malvern, Arkadelphia, and very close to Camden, and then you get into Nevada County. So everybody to the east of this line, make sure you have a way of getting warnings just in case there is a tornado warning that may be issued. We still have a lot of wind energy in this part of the state, into south central Arkansas, southeast Arkansas, and east Arkansas. And in case you missed it, we have a new tornado watch now that has been issued all the way until 8 o'clock for Friday morning. So we still have a long ways to go. There's the latest tornado watch. It does still include Pulaski County. It does include Saline County. I think things will quiet down here in Saline County and Pulaski County once we get around probably 2 o'clock time frame.
Right. One more thing before we go. Let's go back to radar with that line of storms. Let's give you a timeline of when those arrive real quick into Pulaski County tonight. Those of you that live in Saline County, so if we can go back to our radar or Storm Track 11 just to show the line. Well, we can do a storm track with our regular radar. If we can zoom into the metro, Nathan, let's go ahead and just do a storm track on this area when it might be entering the Pulaski County and Little Rock metro area. It's probably going to be sometime around midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe even 2 o'clock in the morning here in central Arkansas. But you can see the edge of that warned storm here is going to affect Saline County, Benton, Haskell over to Alexander. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning tonight due to those strong winds. And we'll keep an eye on that area once again in Hot Spring County near Malvern, Rockville. The tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So now straight line winds or gusty, strong winds moving through this area, and also some very heavy rainfall. Flash flooding is possible with these storms as they train over the same areas. Movement is to the northeast. And there you go. That's the severe thunderstorm warning we have. Our tornado warning has been allowed to expire, but still some very strong thunderstorms, lots of lightning, and also some damaging wind gusts. All right, so there we have it. If we want to do one more thing, Nathan, why don't we talk about the flooding before here it is midnight. Let's go back to a statewide viewpoint. I'll let you talk about who's under the flood watches and flood warnings. That's equally as important because there have been some problems tonight.
Tom, if you live next to a river or a creek or a stream that's known to flood, you certainly have to watch out for that potential, especially to the north of Little Rock, because there's a solid area of heavy rain and it's not moving much at all. So this is going to produce probably 2 to 4 inches of rain, maybe even more than that in some locations. So smaller creeks or streams, low-lying areas, poor drainage areas, all susceptible to significant flash flooding. There could be some roads that may be washed out. We were seeing that bridges were covered in Scott County because the rivers were coming out so quickly out of their banks. This could be a dangerous situation alone, flash flooding. And of course, you come across a flooded roadway, do not drive through floodwaters whatsoever. You don't know how deep it is, and you don't know if the road has been washed out. It's just best to be safe. Find another way, turn around, don't drown. That is the saying the National Weather Service uses, and that's the saying that you really need to abide by because you're taking a serious risk that you don't need to take when you try to do something like that, go through floodwaters, and it can also ruin your vehicle. But there's the potential of heavy rain lined up all along this line of storms. Now, this line of storms is not sticking around as long as what's happening to the north of the metro, but it can still put down probably an easy 1, 2, maybe as much as 3 inches as this line continues to make its way off to the east. Let's just take a look at also the current conditions and see where that warm front is, because that is important. Where that warm front is draped across the region, that's where the severe weather risk will remain in place. So you see here at Little Rock, we've got a temperature of 66. Our temperature has continued to climb up. The dew point is into the 60s. Hot Springs, things are starting to quiet down. The low pressure is just off to the west of you, but this warm front is going to continue to move off to the northwest, and warmer air will be building into Searcy, into Jackson County, and pretty close to Jonesboro, and that's why that tornado watch has been extended into those areas all the way until 8 o'clock in the morning. When we take a look at, let me see if I can find this one graphic, Tom, to just break down what we were saying before, the timeline of when things will start to quiet down. Let's send things back over to you. I'm going to look for this real quick.
Let's go to Max 2, gentlemen, and I'll go over who's under a flood warning, just to give our viewers at home an idea how serious this is. Lots of rain has been falling, several inches of rain. Counties in red, that does include a part of Pulaski County, Faulkner County, wide up to Cleburne, and Van Buren counties. This area is going to be under a flood warning for a while longer tonight. I know one of these warnings at Pulaski County till 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're only expecting the rain to really shift into northeast and north central Arkansas. 2 to 4 inches of rain easy, possibly more rain. We've had reports tonight out of Scott County of some issues with water over bridges there, and also in Danville and Yale County they've had some issues with some flooding. This area flooding, I think, is going to expand before things are said and done. If you're up with us tonight, you live here, just keep a close eye on things and keep your family safe tonight. Nathan's got when the all clear is going to be in your area, so we'll go back over here to Nathan.
This is a rough estimate. This is what I created earlier this evening, and it's really kind of following along of what we were expecting, because I had the tornado risk pretty much for Little Rock and off to the northeast, and that certainly is the case out there for the rest of the overnight. So you're done with the threat of severe weather to the west of Little Rock. So once again, Montgomery County, Polk County, Pike County, Howard, Little River, severe, and a large part of Clark County. Garland County, you're done with the threat of severe weather as that line is making its way off to the east. Here in central Arkansas, we still need to be on our guard probably until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then the tornado watch goes all the way until 8 o'clock in the morning for East Arkansas. So that is the breakdown on when you can expect to see things quiet down in terms of severe weather. We'll take a look at the current flash flood watches and warnings and time things out there for you as well, because there has been several inches of rain that has fallen across a large part of the THV 11 viewing area. And here are the current flash flood warnings still in effect. I'm going to query some of these here for you. So there you see they go all the way through the early morning hours, and they are continuing to build off to the east. So you have flash flood warnings now in effect for White County, Cleburne County, Van Buren County, Faulkner County. I'm just going to take off the precipitation accumulation, but pretty much all those areas in the maroon color with the blue outlines are under a flash flood warning through the early morning hours, probably until about 6 or 7 in the morning. There could still be lots of smaller creeks and streams out their banks, and there could be some flooded roadways. So if you have to get up early in the morning and head off to work and you go through some back roads, you certainly want to use extreme caution, because some roads may not be there anymore.
Yeah, so that's one of the elements we're working with tonight. We've got that line moving through. We'll break back in if we have another tornado warning. The line is now moving through the Malvern area. There's still some lightning out there as the thunderstorm moves off to the east and northeast in that line. Nathan Scott will be here. I'll be here tonight. We're going to, since we have a tornado watch until 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll also hear from meteorologist Scott Covert and Corrales Ortiz. 12:07. And we're going to take a break from here. We're going to send it back to our network programming, and when we have another warning, we'll break in.